Today, I'm going to be talking about conversations and have a conversation about conversation. I'm trying to make this short. That's the goal of today. Try to make this short as possible. I got out a conversation with somebody who is, 10 years older than me, roughly, give or take. And you'd assume they would have better understanding of certain things. And, they didn't. When a person already is coming, like either shaking or looking some type of way or, certain tone out the gate, they're already assuming something of you. In Islam, for people who don't know, it's said that it is better for you to assume better of people, of your brothers and sisters in Islam, right? Than think the worst. This person, from what they think, they felt some type of way. That's fine that they feel that. So it's okay to feel your feelings, right? What they thought I was doing wasn't what I was doing. So they assumed the entire scenario. So they're coming with a pre-feeling of what I was doing, and that's why I was doing it. Rather than asking, hey, when I was trying to do this, this, and this, or let's say get your attention, right? So I'm trying to get your attention, you made me feel this, and it hurt me. And I didn't really like it. And then just stop. And then I would instantly go, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't make you feel that way. I apologize. I'll make sure to pay attention next time. And then I can go like, and then the next part of the conversation is like, if it was really true, it wasn't in my intention, I would say, because if obviously someone is going to apologize, I think the most sane thing to do is if you did mean it a little bit or here and there, then you apologize. It wasn't my intention at all to make them feel what they felt. So I said, I apologize, I made you feel that, and I'll be on the lookout, basically. Like, pay attention to when it happens. So thank you. And then, well, I didn't say that, but this is a private conversation. And then the next thing I say is like, well, then that would be it, right? Or I would tell them like, well, this was what I was doing. This was what was going on in my head. I didn't even know. That wasn't even towards you at all. And then they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry for assuming. I didn't know you weren't thinking like that. No, I apologize. I'll be open-minded more next time. And then that person. So for me, I would take into account like, oh shoot, I need to pay attention more because who else am I making feel that way? And then what they're thinking is like, maybe I shouldn't assume, and maybe I should ask them, or when I actually get a hold of them and tell them what I was telling them. And if they seem fine about it, okay, great. And if they a little bit off, or even if they're feeling great, they'll be like, hey, by the way, I don't think you were ignoring me, but I didn't know if you meant something about it. It kind of looked like you were ignoring me. Were you ignoring me, or were you weren't? If they say no, then great. Now you understand that when they do that, they're not ignoring you. So there's nothing towards you. But in this conversation, it was really a competition of diagnosing, to be honest. And for me, I was like, are they genuinely thinking this way? Like, whatever they asked me, I said, okay, fine, I'll go do it. And then they just got up with the conversation like it was done, talking about what they feel. I said, okay, if you're gonna talk about what you feel, talk about what you feel. And it went into a whole thing of, a lot of people do this, and I am subject to this, and I've done it very recently, right? Until a friend kind of said something, and he was just talking about me, and I had to sit there and like, it hit me one day, basically. So a lot of times, like, my mom taught me, don't say always. She taught me as I was growing up, don't say always, because if you say you always do this, you always do it, they might not always do it, and maybe just be sometimes, and you're generalizing. So I guess the caveat for me I would always, instead of say always, I want to say always, but I would say you do this a lot, or this and the other, but it would be so general. So when they would ask me, which like I said earlier, when was a time that I did that so I can understand and learn, I couldn't name one, because they maybe did it once or twice, and it was a long time ago or not as recent. Maybe I'm just feeling hurt by it, or maybe I'm just in some type of way, or maybe I'm just going tit for tat. Maybe I'm just trying to go back and forth, But all seriousness, I had to ask them the same question. It's like, give me, okay, and when it looked like they weren't telling me how they feel, I think the thing that I could have done better was at least say like, okay, so what I'm understanding is that this is how you feel, this and this. Am I right to say that? Because I didn't hear you say how you felt. And then if they agree, then I can say, okay, great, I apologize, and then continue. I think that's what I could have done better in this certain conversation than just, keep on asking, like, to ask them to tell me what they think or tell me what they feel and tell me when do I do it in the past. Because those were the two answers I was looking for, which is not wrong, but, I feel like there's better ways to get what you want. It doesn't always have to be one way. And it just didn't go that way. Then I got threatened. and it's certain, and not threaten like in a life or death situation, but people say like, if you don't do this, I'm gonna do this, or you're lucky that these exterior things are present, or else I would have, and it's just like, dang. Then it becomes like, I just got like fed up with the conversation. Like, wow, this is not even a grown conversation anymore. And it kept repeating in cycles, going back and forth, then where is the room for growth? So then they got up to go walk away, and then I got up, and then they started yelling. And then I was like, okay, so I'm not even gonna, like, whatever they asked me to do, I'm not even gonna do anymore, because you can't assume the worst of me, threaten me, then they get to raising your voice. That doesn't mean I'm gonna go happy-go-lucky and listen to you. The only person I would ever do that to is for my mom. My mom can yell, scream, spit at me, whatever it is, and I'll still go listen to her, But not anybody. That's not for anybody. And so I was already on my way walking to go work, right? But then I realized, my mom's a little bit ill today. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna do whatever it is I asked, so she's not worried about it. And then, I'm not gonna care who's there or as if I'm listening to them. I'm going for my reasonings, right? And I'm the type of guy who will like talk to myself as I am now, but legit without the camera, and replay it in my head. But then what I'm very proud of myself today was I said, okay, what could I have done better? After I said what I felt, get it out. But to myself, of course, I wouldn't do it in front of anybody else because, it can cause more problems. But after I realized, okay, what can I do better? What can I improve in? I thought about it just now. Like, if they're really going in circles, not telling me how they feel, and they're just commenting on what I'm doing, then let me take the high ground and make them feel heard. I feel like people always, they just want to be heard. Make them feel heard. Make them feel understood. And once they feel like they depleted, now because you have the high ground, because you quote unquote accommodated their feelings, make them feel valued, now you can spill what you needed to spill, right? And not every personality is like this, but this is for like if you have these type of similar scenarios, right? And I knew that would have gone way better if I had done that, if I just made them feel heard and valued. Because when you repeat something back to somebody, when they said, like, if I said I feel hurt, like, I'm sorry I didn't make you feel hurt, I apologize, I'll try to be aware for next time, so I don't want to do that again, because I don't want to hurt you again. They felt hurt. Now the contrast is, or the next thing is, now you have to feel hurt because you gave them that. Now you deserve the same thing. They could easily walk away, keep in mind, but as long as you're doing the right thing, I think that's perfectly fine. And that goes to show you that maybe don't have these conversations. Like, if they generally walk up and they don't do give you the similar respect, then they don't deserve your respect. So you don't have these conversations with them anymore. And you can legit say what you want to say, and when they say, okay, I'm sorry, I assumed, and I'm sorry, whatever it is in that scenario, you can legit just go, okay, great. I'm kind of depleted from this conversation, and I'm kind of done with this conversation. Basically, thank you for listening. And if you want to talk more about it, you can just let me know. But I gotta get going right now. Thank you. And then just walk off. I feel like that's such a more mature and grown conversation. But I wouldn't have realized that if I didn't take a step back and think, what did I do wrong? Rather than continuate the blame on them and only them. So you have to take things as if you're 100% the wrongdoer and how you could have made that better. And obviously, if someone is just way off the rails, then you'd understand. Then obviously you can understand that, and maybe you did everything you can. But this was just basically a good learning lesson for myself and for what I can do better. And I hope when you guys go into conversations, especially hard conversations like this, or maybe it's a pissing contest or just throwing insults or whatever, you can handle it like a grown adult. And especially, I think the most people who watch this are men, so you can be a man about it. And that's really it. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And see you soon. Bye.